Oh, you gotta hold it in, amigo.
Too fast. The E-rig wasn't heating up fast enough.
Oh man, does it have the electronic heater? Is that how that thing works?
Yeah.
Man, the future
Ceramic.
is ceramic. All right. Very nice. I live in the past. I'm an old school hombre, man. I just chief on the old tweeds, roll up the doobie, pack up the bolski.
I'm
That's
not
how I
rich, though.
roll.
I don't have a house, so
Right, so you can't
can't stink up the place.
boogie with your woogie in the old apartment there.
Nah, limited.
All right, you're
Sorry.
leaving though. You're probably looking at all their places, I imagine. You just got to look for a 420 friendly establishment, right?
Don't exist. Especially because I'm going to Indiana. Not
Okay.
even legal there.
Yeah, that's right, man.
Uh,
Very Republican.
uh,
Probably better though. I imagine. I mean, I don't know. Indiana doesn't seem like the greatest state out of most of the states, but culturally wise, I'm gonna say the whole pot legalization thing, not a huge win for most people out here. I love smoking weed. I love getting high. And I'm always chiefing on the devil's lettuce, but I gotta say, culturally speaking, I mean, you cruise around here. We were just in Chicago for the weekend. It's why we're doing a Monday show instead of the Sunday show. And, you know, driving to that game on Saturday on 90, that traffic is the real deal because you have millions of people commuting in all directions. And
yeah.
it's a major hub of a city, no matter how downgraded it's become over the last few years. Chicago, still Chicago. And so when it comes to traffic, dude, bumper to bumper everywhere you go because everyone's trying to get somewhere. Here, you come to Denver, Colorado, it's not bumper to bumper. There's plenty of space. Nobody's moving. Nobody's going anywhere. Everyone's just high off their rocker, slowly pacing themselves and eventually getting to their destination.
I still say your traffic moves faster than ours.
It moves, but not.
Ours doesn't move.
But
Come
there's
on,
this.
that was brutal.
No, it wasn't brutal because there was a point to it.
Nah, there's no point.
No, there is. There's a lot of people there. There's just a lot of action. Whereas here in Colorado, you could see down ahead and everybody's backed up because two guys in a Prius and a Tesla are barely moving, but they're going side by side and blocking miles of traffic behind them.
Yeah, but the only reason we have the traffic is because they keep shutting down every highway. There's just no highway open. Right?
Good call. Yeah. I mean,
Except for 55, but then you are dodging the Grand Canyon of potholes every 300 feet.
oh, I see you have someone from Denver running the infrastructure of your roads then, right?
Worse. Yeah, Brandon Johnson.
Who he was on this clip going viral right before we went live here. Not the best clip. It took me a couple listens to figure out what he was trying to say, but he's basically saying that Chicago, under his guard, is going to primarily invest in black owned businesses because that's the only way they can bring about reparations in the modern era.
Oh, it's so stupid. And that's why every time he talks, he has to mumble and talk quietly. 'Cause he doesn't want you to actually listen to what he's saying. It's retarded. It is just that overeducated socialist bullshit you learn in college, in sociology class. You know what I mean? That's a man who took too many college credits.
It's amazing how many Marxists there are and just avowed like open communists. The battle going on in New York for mayor right now, Cuomo and this dude whose name I can't pronounce. I had to Wikipedia the fella. Turns out the guy, he's from Queens. I think what's her name?
Zo
AOC's a big fan.
Was that Zoran or some shit?
Yes, yeah.
Zoran?
The Zohan,
The
if you will.
Zohan, yeah.
And I was checking out his whole thing. Let's see here. Zoran Mamdani. He's a Queens State Assembly member. He's running for mayor. Apparently, he's in the top running. It's him and Cuomo That's what it's coming down to.
Uh,
Uh,
so sad.
so sad for our guy Wiener. I was pulling for Wiener throughout this whole horse race, man.
No
I
chance, dude.
saw the comeback on the View. I thought, man, this could be Wiener's moment, man.
I mean, what are you gonna do if the town hall if the city hall is, within 100 meters of a school? He won't even be allowed in the building.
Wow, great call. Yes.
You're a registered sex offender, dude. You can't be mayor. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
What if they break ground on a new school? He can't go cut the ribbon at the ceremony, right?
Can't go do it.
He's out of luck, dude.
To
No.
Photoshop him in.
So we got Cuomo and this Zohan fella, and I went to take a look at his Wikipedia page because I was kind of shocked that he had so much action behind his name and so much popularity in AOC. I thought, why is AOC big on this guy? Go to the Wikipedia. He's a part of the Democratic Socialist group or movement. It's like a major
Yeah.
group that he's a part of. I think AOC's in the same group. These people are literally a part of an association that is the Socialist of Democracy or the Democratic Socialists.
But
It's
Frank, when have
ridiculous.
the socialists ever done anything wrong? What's that? What did Nazi stand for?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Zorhan Mamdani. He seems like a very charismatic fella. He went to Columbia University, and I found the whole. I'm trying. Yeah, he co-founded the Students for Justice in Palestine, and he's really big in the whole. He's what was he? He was named after the Prime Minister of Ghana. Weird stuff about this guy though, and I found it to be very fascinating. Like, how is this dude a part? Like, how is he tied with Cuomo? He seems kind of strange. Like, almost we're being taken over like by the UK,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Oh yeah, he's
I
very
mean, they're
big.
being taken over by the Middle East, so not worried about the UK. Have you seen that place?
Yeah, they're basically the Middle East at this point. They're bringing in the Sharia law there. I think here we want to do the Shia law or whatever it is.
I was I'm not even joking. This is so funny it came up, but literally earlier today, I was working with this older black man who talked about going to London, and he was like, "I really didn't like it. I know it sounds crazy. So many black people." I was like,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Yeah, man. UK's in a rough spot, but I just wanted to throw it out there. I didn't know this was a thing, but we have the Democratic Socialists of America. I think AOC is in this group. They're left wing, far left wing. They're big on the Marxism and the Leninism. I don't even know how to say that because I'm an idiot.
Leninism.
Yeah, Leninism. There it is. Still jet lagged from the whole trip here, but yeah. So that's what we're
It's
dealing with,
crazy.
though. I think that's really crazy, though. How is it between Cuomo, an Italian American who sent tens of thousands of elderly to their deaths during COVID, and then this Shia law observing democratic socialist Muslim? Just that whole sentence right there. I mean, come on, dude.
Crazy.
New York better watch itself, man. Because I'm not going to say Cuomo's the better or the lesser of those two evils, but that's a lot of evil you're balancing up in the air. Like, was there really nobody better? Why does this keep happening in all
I
these Democratic
know.
places? Here in Denver, we had to choose between our current jackass, Mike Johnson, and then two other jackass leftist Democrats. There was not a single centrist or Republican in the mix.
That's what it is. No centrist. It's like so
Yes.
extreme.
Oh my God, man. Unbelievable.
Uh,
So here we are, though. It is Monday. We made it here. We missed out on Sunday.
Dude,
We
sorry, I'm not gonna. But
Oh, no, please.
I saw a crazy video talking about this. In the German elections, you could almost draw a line from East Berlin and West Berlin,
Really?
and like anybody in Germany, you could literally see the line. All the counties that were taken over by Russia after World War II, they're all voting very conservative, and the ones that are taken over by the West, they're all going super liberal, which is leading to socialist. And I don't understand how you guys don't connect Nazis with social. It was in the
I
name.
know.
It was in the fucking name.
It was the Nazi Socialist Party, if I'm not mistaken.
It was
If
like the
I'm
National Workers Social German Socialist Workers something. Dude, it was in
yes,
the
dude,
fucking
yeah.
name. I know you guys are
Right.
trying to swing it that like that was right wing fascism and everything. The Nazis were very socialist,
Yeah,
right?
you could argue it was left-wing socialism actually that led to the, fascist takeover there, and
What do you
all the
guys think
social
redistribution of wealth is?
I know, dude,
They
yeah.
went and stole the wealth from the Jews and gave it to the German people. That's exactly what you guys want to do with the white people and give it to the blacks. How do you not see? Here's my
Right, but
question:
it
Do you really think the white people are going to willingly give it up? So you're going to have to take it, most likely by
right.
force. That's exactly what happened in Germany.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, come on. First, the
Yeah,
willing go
absolutely.
into the ghettos. You run out of the willing, now you got to resort to force. I don't know. I just don't understand where that disconnect is.
Oh, it's absolutely insane. Again, we're staring down the barrel of they wanna run AOC in 2028, and they're pushing this dude, you don't mess with the Zohan over for mayor in New York, two two open socialists. Bernie Sanders, he was the
Open.
top of the ticket for the Democrats until they stole it from him and gave it to Joe Biden, and Hillary Clinton, also a socialist. I mean, they're not
Socialist.
they're
Yeah.
not dancing around it anymore. They're full on. And before they totally embrace the socialist name and like everything behind it, they have to first paint the other guy as a Nazi because we can't have you thinking we're Nazis over here.
Right.
All right. So we got to do
Well,
everything
no,
we
no,
can to make
he's
the other
gonna
guy
end
a Nazi.
democracy because he's a Nazi. So vote for the
That's right.
socialist. Totally different. It doesn't make any sense. You people that
No,
went to
not at
your
all.
No King rally, you literally you guys were just spouting out socialist ideals. You know what I mean?
Yes, dude.
The free healthcare for all is a human right. No, it's not. Right?
Well, we
Fuck
were
out of here.
blessed this weekend. We got to go downtown and hit up the old Chicago Cubs game. Got to go to Wrigley Field. Lots of fun. Um, I had an absolute blast. One of the best parts about going downtown, I felt, was the folks we saw getting on board the L train to go to the No Kings protest.
Yeah, I know. With their signs, what was that one?
There was the
Worst
one sign,
possible it was worst
Emperor.
possible emperor to have no clothes.
Yes, I think that was one of them.
It
Yeah.
made no sense. So of all the emperors that ever had no clothes, he's the worst. And the SS Impossible was a different color from the rest to emphasize the SS. Although
Did
you
you
guys
notice
would love
anything?
him if he was a socialist, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah,
doesn't
self-declared
make sense.
socialist. He'd be number 1 on the Democratic ticket with AOC. I can't say it enough. Trump, get on out there and start promoting chemtrails, man. We can finally get the end of the
Please.
geoengineering, dude.
And abortion.
Right. Yeah, just promote,
Blow their
be all
minds.
for you just totally go all in on everything they support and watch them pretzel twist their brains and logic into now being against everything they were for.
Uh,
Uh
oh, you notice how they
the
just don't talk about Elon anymore?
dude,
They
you're
don't know how to
psycho.
feel about him. They just stop talking about him. We don't know which way to go.
I was watching all these clips of the No Kings protest, and I noticed for the most part, um, the first thing I noticed, nothing about Tesla or Elon.
No, no more, right? The
No more
CEO
signs about Elon.
dictator.
Right? No, he's gone. So that right there is all you need to know about the power of the propaganda and the psyop that's been unfolding. I mean, these people were whipped up into such a frenzy over Elon Musk that they were turning around and keying their own liberal neighbors' cars,
Oh, that's
right?
crazy.
That's
Yeah, it's so
bonkers, dude.
crazy.
That's complete insanity. But the
Uh,
second the propaganda machine stopped mentioning this guy's name, not a sign to be seen. Teslas are safe,
Nope.
Cybertrucks are safe, nobody's keying anything, nobody cares about Elon anymore. That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
It should say everything you want. And then on top of it, there were some great
Dude,
pictures of this
look at
protest.
these people. It's all
Man,
boomers. It's
all
all boomers.
boomers. That's what
Jesus
got me about
Christ.
this whole
And
thing.
what kills me, it's like, you mean to tell me the boomers in democratic cities don't like Trump? Yeah, we know. Th this I bet you if you added up the numbers of everybody that went to these protests, it adds up to MSNBC and CNN's viewership.
You're psycho, bro. Literally, all I was thinking about was this is basically the amount of people who are tuning into mainstream television, The View, everything else. These are the folks who watch Morning Joe. Um,
Yes, absolutely.
the people streaming onto the L that we saw when we were heading to the Cubs game, and just you peruse the pictures or take a look at some of the footage. There's some great man on the streets out there of people interviewing these folks, and they have absolutely no idea like what they're doing there. Like the
What
younger
their
folk.
goal was. What is
Yeah,
your like,
exactly.
what were you hoping to accomplish? Are you trying to get rid of him? Because that would be the end of democracy, right? Because he was voted in.
I kind of consider this a phenomenal compliment to Trump. You're calling him a king like he's that royal. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of, and this is a guy who shits on a golden toilet. He probably likes being referred to as king a little bit. He'll never be able to be king, but to have you guys like kind of worship him or respect him with the hatred of hating a king, well, you're basically
Uh,
pronouncing him a king, right?
yeah. Did you see all the
Um,
people on the left talking about how you never see these kind of protests when Joe Biden was in charge? I mean, we all just felt bad, and we didn't even know who to protest because we didn't even know who was running the country. So props to you on that foolery.
Great call. The
You
problem
know?
was nobody on the right could spell Pulitboro. So we had no idea how to like rhyme Pulitboro. What kind of hey, hey, ho, ho rhyme scheme do we do with Pulitboro, man? It's tough. It's tougher. Or
Good
committee,
call. Good call.
we weren't sure if it was
And,
Dr. Jill
and none of the names
Biden.
came out. Yeah, none of the names came out
Right.
till afterwards. So it's like, man. But
We had
well,
no idea. That's funny. We didn't know who to protest during Biden's administration because we didn't know who was actually running the country. That's
didn't know what
very
the
right on
president
the money, dude.
wanted. And we all have jobs.
That's another thing.
So
That's a huge part of it. We have jobs to go to,
yeah.
and ultimately, the right did attempt at some point to protest on some level on January 6th, and then 7,000 people went to jail. And so maybe we learned our
Right,
lesson.
maybe,
Protesting, not a great
maybe.
call during this
Well,
administration.
well,
You're going to go to jail.
you missed the caveat. They tried to protest, then the FBI came in and instigated a riot. 7,000 people
Right.
went to jail. Yeah.
Exactly. And when
So
we say FBI, we're not talking about that poor rancher from Montana, Ray Epps, who
no,
was just there to peacefully protest and stop
just
people from
whispered in
going
some
to the
ears.
Capitol. That's right.
You
Just
know,
whispering in ears. There's no
ears.
way
Yeah.
there is no way that you could find video footage of Ray Epps the night before yelling at people to march into the Capitol and storm the Capitol building. That's just crazy talk, man. Crazy.
Nah, he's an innocent farmer.
All boomers, maybe some Gen X, although I get the feeling with the Gen Xers in my life, they're big time MAGA folk. And so a lot of boomers, a lot of millennials. I'm going to toss our group under the bus here, Mike. I think the millennials are the last generation who are kind of still trapped in the legacy media machine. We're still on some
Mm.
level giving credibility to
Did you see the
various
millennials?
institutionalized.
It was all lady fellas and women.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Let me throw it out there. I
But
can't
I'm
believe
just
these
saying,
the
like, none of the real millennial men were there.
right. No, but
You know?
millennials where I'm cutting it, man, because I looked at a lot of footage and I was checking out a lot of these pictures and the man on the street scenarios, dudes interviewing people. You're right. When it came to the millennials, blue hair freakazoids and lady fella, him things going around. So, you know, it's a sad representation for our generation, but that's what you got. But I gotta say, zero turnout from Gen Z and below. And when we were
They don't
younger,
care.
bro, When we were younger, though, we were the ones that were pissed off about George Bush and, anything political.
Yeah.
Like, it was the younger people that used to be the ones hitting the street, talking back towards the man, fighting against the man. This just seemed like a bunch of propagandized boomers and millennials who were told to go out into the street and did as they were told, like good sheeple, and had the signs, wore the masks, and did the whole dance. And then when they were interviewed about why they're there, they had no idea. They're like, "Oh, Trump's a king. We got to stop kings, man. And what about the immigrants? Hey, we got the Muslims and the migrants, man. Nobody had."
I
And
love it.
this is what I
I
love about the
love it.
Democrats is they have so many tiny little movements that draw almost nobody for any kind of events that they try to schedule, that they just group everybody together into one thing, and then you get the No Kings March. So you got people with abortion signs, migrant signs,
Oh,
the
that was
king
the
signs.
craziest part. Nobody could agree. There were no 2 people there for the same issue. It was
Exactly.
crazy.
Yes. It was totally
Crazy.
bonkers, man. And then there was some sadness from my perspective, though. I found this interview of this lady in the midst of the No Kings protest. I don't know if you saw this floating around on the interwebs, but they're going around. You got the classic mask. There's a Gen Z guy. He's got the mask on, right? All right,
Yeah,
so
there you go.
surrounded by a sea of millennials and boomers.
A lot of old
They
people,
go in
man.
all old people, dude. Everybody over the age of 50. And they find this boomer lady. I think this is the greatest representation of the last 10 years since Trump descended down that golden escalator through COVID up until now. The psyop is complete. These people have completely lost their minds.
I'm just so scared. I'm 74 years old. I worry about everything, and I just am so scared and upset, and I don't understand why people did voted for this person.
Wow!
Oh,
Yeah!
man,
That
that poor lady needs help. That lady just needs help.
yes. These
Somebody
people
give
need
her a
therapy.
hug, man. They need friends, they need a hug, they need to turn off the TV. Where's the family?
Yes.
Where are the
Holy
relatives?
cow.
Jesus Christ. Poor lady. She's
That
crazy.
is dude, that is the apex of Trump derangement syndrome. She is
Yeah.
beside herself, weeping, lost, confused, doesn't even know why she's upset. She couldn't even articulate
Couldn't
what it
even
was.
Frank, she was more upset and showed more emotion than the lady who got raped by Donald Trump showed the entire trial. This lady is more scared. Never even met Donald Trump. More scared than the lady who has accused him of rape.
To be fair, for E. Jean Carroll, doesn't remember the day it happened, or the year, or the season, or the month. I mean, really, the whole experience kind of evades every aspect of memory. So, it's hard
Like
to
rape
recall the
does.
same emotion. Yeah,
Right. You're right.
how do you still capture that emotion if you don't
Get
remember
upset.
anything happening, right?
I, I know many women who talk about their rape situation just stone cold, staring you in the eye.
And then after, winning a lawsuit over rape, talking about how much shopping they're gonna do, right, during their interview, then
Oh, yeah. Then
never
they write a
forget
book.
that.
Book just came out or it's coming out. Crazy.
Trump
Somebody help this
derangement.
lady. Give her a hug.
Dudes,
Let's get her away from the news. This is why, these news channels should be ashamed of themselves.
right, I mean, this lady, I guarantee this lady was having her groceries delivered through her garage door, and then she, disinfected the groceries in the garage for 3 days
Guaranteed.
in the dark box,
Guaranteed.
wiping the apples and oranges with,
Yeah.
sanitation wipes. I mean, I knew people like that. I knew a guy who, I jumped in the car with him to go get some supplies for a job we were doing, and he pointed to his, T8395 face masks hanging it on the rear view mirror, and he pointed at them and said, the sunlight disinfects these. And I said, oh, really? Okay. You mean like bleach? You talking like bleach? How that disinfects too? Should I inject some? But that's
That's
dude,
crazy.
they made people fucking nuts over the last 10
That's
years.
crazy.
The
Yeah.
TDS leading into the COVID derangement syndrome, which led right back into the new modern era, or the version 2.0, TDS 2.0, which we have in this new era, because this is a new Trump derangement syndrome. The first one, it was a little more whimsical, a little shoot from the hip, a little, out there, imaginative. We had the Russian P tape and the dossier, and
Right,
there were all these
right.
other more fantastical versions of Trump back then being corrupt. Now they had to kind of go harder in on it, and I don't even know where we're at with the TDS, because in my book, up until about last year or so, Hitler was kind of the top. Like, when you're trying to destroy someone's credibility, you call them Hitler. There's
Yeah.
really not much further to go past Hitler. Like, Hitler
That
always
was the
seemed.
problem. Yeah.
So they hit
Yeah.
Hitler summer of 2024, and we're only 5 months into his presidency, summer 2025. They got nowhere else to go. So they're
Where
like,
do you go? Yeah. It's Hitler.
it's Hitler. Well, now Hitler's in. Right? We got to scare the crap out of everybody. So I don't know where they're. And that's why you have people on CNN or MSNBC talking about how, it's going to start with the ICE raids on the Mexicans, and then we're next. And they're
I
trying to
know.
like
I
scare the
love
crap
that.
out of, like,
Oh
they're trying
no,
to
the best is they arrested a sitting congressman. What would they do to you? Well, I'm not gonna go interrupt anybody's fucking speech. Did you see all those
Yeah.
videos? Chuck Schumer, the fucking hunchback himself.
Yes. So it was,
Man, it's so
man,
funny.
what a funny
That
week
Padilla
we've just
guy.
had. Yeah, I was just looking for. I thought I saved something on this guy
That guy
in
couldn't have
here.
picked a worse fucking time
You're
to do his
psycho,
stunt.
dude.
I mean, who are you listening to? Cory Booker's guys? You guys
No, Cory Booker would have had Padilla do a very bizarre close-up selfie video for TikTok, and then he would have hung out for
Right.
12 hours in front of the podium, right? Singing
For no
songs and
reason.
doing
Pissing into a
something.
diaper or something.
Bring over Hakeem Jeffries. Nobody knows who he is still, so let's bring him over. He's not Cory Booker. So
Yeah.
Senator Alex Padilla forcibly removed from DHS Secretary Kristi Noem's news conference in LA. It was quite the scene, really bizarre, honestly. He was trying to force himself up to the podium while Kristi Noem is speaking. And I gotta say, when it comes to cabinet members, Kristi Noem, I mean, Shaw Wing, right? Trump knows how to
Wing.
pick them, dude.
Dude,
Absolutely.
he's killing it, man. Beautiful woman every time you turn on the TV. I'm loving it.
I love the chaos this guy. Look at him. He's like aggressively pushing against a guy smaller than him, but he's going nowhere, which is props to the little guys. Someone doesn't skip leg days. It's the little guy. I'm saying it right now. And then
That's
they're
a
arresting this guy.
577.
Yeah.
He was using the third leg.
Oh man, yeah, dude. The 7.
I love they're like, the nerve of them to arrest this guy. Well, you just fucking stormed in and started wrestling with the FBI. The fuck did you think was gonna happen?
Well, nobody knows who he is, first of all, right? That's I didn't know who this guy was until this happened. So I'm sure most people there didn't know who he was. They just thought some nut job
No idea.
Mexican guy storming the podium. We got to take him out, man. They got the LA riots going on currently.
Check his paper.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was so funny. But the best part is, like, 3 hours later, Israel bombed Iran, and everybody stopped talking about Padilla.
So funny, dude. I think Padilla's people and Greta Thunberg's people decided together we're going to coordinate some events over the next week. Hopefully nothing else goes on so people don't ignore what's happening here. Right? Greta goes on her little freedom flotilla to save the Gazans, totally overshadowed by the LA riots. Padilla goes to save somebody by storming the podium with Kristi Noem, overshadowed by World War III. It's really unfortunate for this guy.
Oh, it's so funny. Such a waste.
Yeah, man.
Such a waste. Nobody cares. I don't get what he was trying to accomplish, though. Yeah.
I think the Democrats are just out of ideas. You know what I mean? And so they're
Desperate, huh?
yeah, and so they're just at this point they don't know what to do, so they're like, "All right, nobody knows who Padilla is. Send them to storm the podium there with Kristi Noem. We'll just make a big scene. Maybe they'll arrest him. We'll get some headlines because we need headlines." That's what I think's going on.
Of course, they were waiting for him to get arrested because then they were like, dude, they already had it planned out that they were going to have an emergency meeting. They did, the emergency session. It was so stupid. Did you see Elizabeth Warren when she got this close to the camera and she's like, they arrested a sitting congressman? They're like, whoa, Pocahontas, take it easy.
I missed the Pocahontas. I saw
easy.
Chuck Schumer made a big speech about it. It's just so funny because I was traveling. I went out to Chicago, and so Friday I was already kind of away from the phone and all the nonsense. And the Padilla thing happened like Thursday, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. It's Wednesday or Thursday. I don't even remember either, because then Friday I'm sitting there and I'm like, why the hell is Israel bombing Iran? This is not good. This is actually one of those not good scenarios.
It's crazy. It's so crazy. No, we're at war with Iran.
We are. Yeah, this is
we got yeah, no, we're in.
We coordinated the attacks with Israel. This Bibi Netanyahu guy is kind of an asshole, dude. I mean, things were going pretty good for us. We were about to kind of end the situation in Ukraine. I'm definitely convinced Netanyahu, tied in with the New World Order, needs to push World War III, come hell or high water. So it's crazy we're talking about the bombardments going on back and forth, but nobody's really talking about the fact that Israel bombed these dudes for absolutely no reason.
No. And to everybody out there, you have to be consistent with your morals and what you believe. Listen, Hamas attacks Israel, level Gaza, you have every right. Israel bombs Iran, you have every right to now level Israel.
You do, yes.
Like, that is...
Absolutely.
You have to be consistent.
Absolutely.
Right? I just saw this montage because Israel's whole thing is, well, Iran, they could have had a nuclear bomb in 30 days. They were getting close. They played a montage of Netanyahu saying that for the past 20 years.
Right.
It was like it was like 2001, dude. He was like, they're within a year of having a nuclear bomb. That's 24 years ago, man.
It's about the same timeline of the ice caps melting and flooding the coastal lines of Florida and the East Coast, right? Same timeline.
We call it the John Kerry timeline.
Netanyahu's a total asshole, man. What a huckster, used car salesman, jackass for the New World Order. No reason, for absolutely no reason, this motherfucker decided to bomb Iran and kickstart World War III. I'm sorry, but there's no excuse. And what shred of humanity was hanging on and supporting the Jews after this complete genocide and destruction of Gaza Strip, which was elicited by Gaza. I mean, they attacked you. I get it. You've had enough. Yeah. You're destroying the land. You're wiping them out. Fine, whatever. They did it October 6th. Nothing I could say about that. But now you go and bomb Iran for absolutely no reason. Dude, you just lost everybody else's support. Whatever support you had, it's over, man. Like, now, enjoy the bombardment.
We shouldn't be guarding their airspace.
No.
Yeah. Let Iran bomb.
That's good luck, dude. Good luck to you, Bibi Netanyahu. By the way, no boots on the ground from America. 75% of us can't even fight anyways. We're too dumb. We're too doped up on, SSRIs, and we're too fat. So you know what? Good luck, Jews.
The other 25% are too smart.
Yes, dude.
They're like, what are we doing here? Who bombed who first?
Excuse me?
Dude, it's just...
You don't get to go punch the biggest guy in the bar and then expect us to back you up.
Yes, exactly. No, this was totally uncalled for and completely ridiculous. And at this point, Israel had basically John Fetterman and Bono supporting them, I think. I don't know who else was actually supporting Israel anymore. And so it's game over now. You just bombed another country for absolutely no reason. You came up with some cockamamie excuse that they're 30 days from nuclear weapons. Like, they're not even testing nuclear
Bro,
weapons.
he was this close. No. He was this close to yellow cake.
Dude, you're psycho.
I swear to God, it was it was on the tip of his fucking tongue during that speech. I think he might have even said it. I just didn't understand. I didn't catch it. Yiddish,
No excuse for this, dude. It's crazy that this is going on, and it just furthers my belief that the New World Order and the powers that be, the Committee of 300, the Club of Rome, they're tied in with Bibi Netanyahu, and they didn't like the trajectory of peace that Trump was on. And so they had to push us into this conflict one way or another. And I'm not excusing Trump either, by the way. I like the guy. I'm a big fan of the Maha movement, and I'm a fan of the MAGA movement as well. But as we dip into the midway point here of this year, I'm not a huge fan of Trump supporting military action in Iran personally, but it does seem like he's got some war hawks on his side really pushing for this. I know Lindsey Graham nearly admitted into a hospital for having a heart attack for masturbating for too many consecutive hours. He's literally been jerking off for 72 hours since this whole thing. He attached electronic nipple stimulators, right? He's going all in, man. This guy.
He thinks we're gonna get an oil deal. Don't blow your load yet there, Lindsey.
Somebody pull the vibrator out of Lindsey Graham's ass so we can start thinking clearly and stopping these wars from continuing any further. Please. This is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I can't believe these guys. They really are just desperate for war.
Well, again, I don't know where Trump stands on this. I've always believed he was a big peacetime guy outside of the time he dropped the mother of all bombs on Syria just to show off how big our bombs were. It was a big, beautiful bomb, Mike, and it looked glorious, right?
It was great. It was great.
So, and he's been bombing the crap out of the Houthis down in Yemen, but not any more than Obama did. So, I mean, he doesn't seem like a war hawk kind of guy, and he's always been promoting the peace and all that stuff. But if we're supporting the aerial attack on Iran, which I do believe we are, then I gotta assume on some level Trump is down with this military exercise going on. And also, I want to say this. I believe fully on October 7th, there was a stand down. I don't believe they were totally taken off surprise. I think by surprise. I believe fully the Israelis knew the attack was coming and the higher ups, and they let it unfold just like 9/11 so they could have an excuse to go rubbleize the Gaza Strip. That's what they wanted, and they let it happen. I believe the same thing is unfolding as we speak. What happened in the Iron Dome? You shoot a couple bombs over at Iran, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it looks like our Iron Dome isn't working as great, and you let a couple bombs come through and destroy Israel to really kind of push people into war. Like, this whole thing stinks, dude. Stinks to high heaven, man. I don't support it.
I don't like it.
I'm not in on it, and
no.
I'm not supporting either side on this point, although I will agree with you. Iran fully justified in retaliation, man, right?
Do it.
And
you just got to be consistent.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
And you know what? Retaliation's coming to our shores, all right? Alex Jones and company have been raving and ranting for several months now how Biden, along with the 20 million or so illegal migrants that cross through the southern border, several thousand and or tens of thousands of those people were militant terrorists from the Middle East. So we potentially have sleeper cells here from Iran that could spring up and do a big old 9/11 style attack. A lot of rumors out there that July 4th will be our next 9/11.
Wow. See, it's never on a day you hear about, though.
Right. It'll be July 5th. We'll all be tense and ready on July 4th. It'll go by. We'll all be hung over from the celebration. Then they got us, man, right?
Oh, that'd be terrible.
Absolutely nuts. Well, I got a clip on what unfolded. Should we do a little dive into the world of bombings and terror and all that jazz?
Yeah.
Overseas now to
Speaking
Israel.
of 9/11, though, I was I was just thinking all these guys like the Padilla guy and everything. You did all your stunts on a week where a plane crash just got brushed under the rug.
Bro, great call. In fact, we've done enough on Israel, actually. Fuck that, dude.
we we forgot about the plane crash where a lone survivor walked away. That is crazy.
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
Absolutely insane. Did I not dude, I'm dropping the ball here all day long. Oh, I got an article there of it. Okay, that's good. Because you can't
What oh god.
well, there's no really good video of it because they're all speaking Indian. So, sole survivor of Air India crash describes failed takeoff and disbelief at being alive. Pretty nuts that this guy survived. You got the prime minister hanging
Almost
out.
nothing wrong with him.
No, and
Look where he was sitting.
the man was sitting in the luckiest seat in the
That's
history of
crazy.
airplanes, A11. So not a poor guy, I gotta say, affording the what is that? Not executive. That's the economy plus.
Oh no, I think that's the worst, right? That's a terrible
Well, no,
seat.
you got
Because you probably have the wall right there, first class in
oh
front of you,
right.
so you like don't have a spot to put your bag under the seat in
Oh, he
front of
got
you.
screwed, but
You
not
know,
screwed in the end.
It- that wall probably saved. He was probably pissed off at the wall, and then it saved his life.
Dude,
You know,
that's crazy. What a great call, man. You're talking about the
think
divider
about
for
that.
first class and economy.
Yeah, because if you get that one, it's even worse because you can't even stretch your feet under the seat in front of you. You know what I mean?
Right. It's just crazy to me. Like, so you got the wall there, and he also has the emergency exit right there.
Wow. Well, think about how many people survived the crash but died from the fire.
Is
Because there's no way you're getting off in a hurry.
That's what I don't understand. Like, because I've heard conflicting reports now about this fella. They're saying that he, like he,
What if he closed the door behind
oh,
him?
trapped him in. He was really just leaving his wife in the moment. Yeah. But they
Damn.
said, so I've heard conflicting reports. I've seen video of this guy allegedly walking from the crash. People are like saying like they could see him walking away. Others have said that he woke up when emergency personnel were pulling him from the burning wreckage. And I've heard those
Wow.
two extremes, everything in between. Right? So it's weird how we can't get a definite answer as to where this guy was when the plane crashed, but I mean, this is unbreakable, dude. This is unbelievable. How could you be the lone
Uh,
survivor out of 240 people? I would immediately either thank the God I already prayed to or find a religion that supports what just took place, right?
I know, but think about uh, a lot of people have been talking. Corolla was talking about the guy who killed John Lennon, like years
Right.
before, had tried to kill himself, but some guy just walking by saw him in a car with the hose from the muffler to the cabin, and just pulled the hose out, pulled him out of the car, and saved his life like at the last minute.
Wow.
And like, think about then that guy goes on to kill John Lennon. Like, how much did God want John Lennon to die?
I don't know. I mean, maybe John
You
Lennon
know?
was evil, man. We don't really know. Imagine's kind of a ridiculous song, really.
It's
It's kind of a communist
ridiculous.
idea. Like John Lennon, clearly a socialist back then. I feel like maybe if
For
he was around
sure.
longer, he could have been bad news for our culture, actually.
Think about it, God saved a guy's life just so he could kill you.
Very interesting. That means you're evil, I imagine, right?
You're
You're like,
pure evil, yeah.
So this is a good call. So this guy could eventually go on to do something like he could create some sort of bomb that'll wipe out humanity, or he'll pull the lever on the new CERN in China and it'll just warp us into a new dimension, right?
Doesn't always have to be good, it could go either way.
Wow,
Maybe
maybe
the
the
guy was just
devil.
lucky.
Maybe the devil
Yeah, maybe
saved
the
this
d
guy's
how do you
life,
know
right?
God saved you? Yeah,
Well, because
oh.
according to the biblical, ideas, there, God created this realm, and then he kicked Lucifer, Satan, out of the heaven and all that stuff, and now the devil reigns supreme here. So I blame all the chemtrails on the devil,
Yeah.
aka Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
We know who the devil. We know who the devil is.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
So yeah, this could have been Satan. We are in Satan's playground. Maybe Maybe he decided, ooh, I need this guy for later on. Maybe God was crashing the plane to save humanity from this guy. Devil sneaks in, saves the
Saves
guy.
the guy. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Could go either way.
I
Only
want to know
time will
more.
tell.
I want to know more details about this guy and his seat, how he landed on the most lucky seat in the history of seating on aircrafts. Like, do you think he's an aisle guy, but all that was left were the window seats? And he's like,
Oh,
I'm
imagine.
definitely not going to sit in the middle. So, all right, fine, fuck it. I'll take this window seat behind the wall. It's going to be shitty, but, I'm not
Or
going to sit in
even
the middle.
even worse, there's like a husband and wife. They're like, can we sit together? I know you have the aisle seat, but we want to be next to each other. You're like, fine. Oh, that's
Right.
the worst.
Oh, maybe he did like a good deed. Like he was originally somewhere else, And,
Yeah.
oh, don't worry. I'll go sit up there. No problem. No
No
problem. Right.
problem.
And
You
he
never
turns
know.
back. Everyone's incinerated around him. The fireball is really spectacular on the footage of that plane. How did this guy not burn alive? It doesn't make any sense.
I think it's just because he was close enough to the door. Everybody else probably burned alive. Well, most of the people. And can we talk about how the building didn't fall down? And it
I
was
was
like
literally
it was
just
made out of wood and mud, and this building didn't collapse. And guess what? Neither did a building 3 blocks away. It's crazy.
it is spectacular looking imagery to say the least. It's a plane in a building made of
It's made of mud, dude.
the building itself looks like it was pre-rubbleized before the plane entered.
The plane's actually the improvement. That's
Dude, it's crazy that plane hit this building, the fireball ensued, and
huge fireball.
we still have pictures of the building and the building in the plane.
That's what I'm saying. But 9/11, 3 buildings, 2 planes.
Look at all the wreckage too. Remember after the plane hit
Pentagon?
the Pentagon, bro? Yeah, dude. Literally, like they had one tiny like Cessna engine off to the corner. I remember, like out in the field. They're like, yeah, a plane hit this thing. See,
Did you see that video they tried to pawn off from the Pentagon that
is it
clearly showed the
recent?
plane? Yeah. It's so fun. It's literally like somebody photoshopped a toy plane. Or like on the day somebody just like went by like the camera with a toy plane. So, yeah,
Yeah,
but look at
man.
that rubble. Look
That's
at
what
that.
It's incredible, man. And there's a wing though. That's what I keep thinking about the Pentagon all the
No,
time.
you could look at that and be like, "Oh yeah, a plane hit that building." Like that's a plane in a building.
Wow, that's spectacular.
But look at that wall is still standing.
I'm not seeing huge plumes of dust anywhere. No dust.
No.
Man, that is just incredible.
So either we need to get these guys to build our skyscrapers, or you guys are lying about 9/11. Look at that fireball.
Literally what a building should look like after a plane hits it. You got the hole, you got the burn marks, some blasted out windows, but the building's still standing.
Still standing.
Amazing stuff, man. Holy cow.
Get out of here with your 9/11.
Yeah, great call. This definitely proves 9/11 was a hoax or I'm sticking with my belief on 9/11. Direct energy weapons, dustification. That's what we witnessed.
Most plausible.
Most plausible, yeah, most
plausible.
realistic, man. All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna keep tabs on this guy. I want to see what happens to him down the road. Like, we'll have to check in on this feller 5-10 years from now. Maybe he'll be the one that assassinates one of our beloved music icons of the modern era.
Oh,
Taylor Swift, watch your back. I'm telling you right now.
Please. If you could do the twofer with her boyfriend. Jesus. 2 for 1. 2 at the same time.
At the same time. Now that we're in Trump land, we're living the MAGA life here, 6 months in. Nary an article about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, which further makes me believe that was an entire psyop created to distract everybody from the total anarchy that was the Biden administration.
100%. Come on.
Don't pay attention to the drag queens reading to the little kiddies in the kindergarten. No, look. Travis Kelce was wearing this suit out on this date with Taylor, and oh man, he put the
She
cake.
was in the skybox.
Now we're all gonna determine what shade of red lipstick she was wearing, so we can all go out and buy it at Sephora, right?
That's so stupid.
Yeah. Doesn't it more seem like a psyop now than ever before?
Oh, it always did, yeah. And then
Man,
they won the 2 Super Bowls. Come on.
come on. Well,
Come on.
as per usual, Mike, I gotta say, I at first I thought, wow, this plane crash, holy cow, this is crazy. This got to be a distraction for something else going on. But then, of course, what happened right after the plane crash? We got World War III unleashing with Iran and Israel. So I thought, my God, this is big news. But you know what? I think this is also a distraction for the real news that is occurring right now. That's right, folks. Alex Soros married Huma Abedin over the weekend. Yeah.
Wow,
I
look
wish
at
I had
those vampires,
evil
dude.
music to play over. Look at these creeps.
Look at this. Whoa.
This is the wedding photo, by the way. This is with the photographer. They're getting married, and the guy says, "Okay, Alex, smile." And that's the smile. Alex Soros. I mean, this guy's a
Look
demon,
normal.
right? Yeah. Could you try looking like a human being for 3 seconds?
To be fair, that's a bright flash for a vampire. I mean,
Great
come
call.
on.
Yes,
Look at those
absolutely.
guys. Do you guys not see the sun?
What is with these elites, man? Is this the creepiest couple in the history of marriages?
Especially
Honestly,
when you know the history of these two. It's just, ugh.
she's also, I think, like 25 years older than him, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. And a man. Where's Macron?
That's right. Here's the game that everybody can play. Guess who has the penis in this picture? Actually, that's what I like to do. Yeah. Alex Soros married to Huma Abedin. This is some sort of demonic union for hell, I imagine. Like, I think they're going to get married. They're going to have a child. That child will be Damien, the son of the devil, right?
No, I imagine their wedding was very similar to the scene in Blade 1, where he's drawing his blood, and it's, like, dripping on his forehead. And, like, all the demons are swirling around him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Similar.
Very similar. Yeah.
I'm sure they had to sacrifice at least a couple people for that wedding, right?
How many children were sacrificed? That's the question. That's what I want to know.
Did you all get your own brain? Is it like the Indiana Jones, except kids on the table?
I got to know what the demonic ceremony was after the wedding, like when the cameras rolled away and
That's
it was
what I'm talking about.
just the satanic reptilian lizards hanging out.
They came out in robes.
Oh, yeah, man.
You know that was
Oh, who was
evil.
sacrificed? Remember, folks, for dinner, they all had pizza, if you know what I'm saying, right? That's
I think
right.
I found the 350,000 missing kids.
Oh, my God.
RFK. Check wherever that wedding was.
Seriously, though, how much adrenochrome did they have to pump into this event, dude? I mean, it must have just been showering in children's blood.
Sprinkler
Yeah,
system.
that's right.
Like,
Straight out of Blade, dude.
I'm telling you. I'm starting to think that was a documentary. These people, look at that guy.
Yeah, man. I think I got another shot from the whole event. I can't remember. Oh, yeah, here it is. Dad and, because, Mike, it was also Father's Day. I want to wish Happy Father's Day.
Yeah,
all the dads out there, including the most evil dad of them all,
Oh,
George
my
Soros.
God.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Just a proud father.
That's right, man. This proud demon offspring.
Took him longer than most to kill his first million, but I'm still proud of him. Really found his groove in his 40s.
Wow. So the union of pure evil is complete. This happened this weekend, which maybe there is some satanic, demonic level thing, sorcery going on. They got married, and then World War III kicked off.
So
right?
the bombing of Iran was a wedding gift from Netanyahu.
Wow,
That
yes, dude.
was the wedding gift.
They also slaughtered 3 red heifers, if I'm not mistaken, right there at the altar on the spot for the wedding.
Oh, Benny, I always wanted a World War. Thanks, man. Did you see it on my register?
Yeah, you got the wedding, thing, with,
Yeah.
the salad bowls, you got the kitty crib, right? Some cocktail stuff for the bar. World War III right at the
You
bottom
know,
there.
the Jews, they would have gone straight for giving him the kids. But Epstein, they've been a little low lately.
Right.
We'll just go with the bombing of Iran. How's a Middle Eastern country for you? Is that okay?
I don't want anyone to forget, though, that Iran is the final chapter in a long storied novel started many decades ago. Wesley Clark blew the whistle on this and stated in a very now infamous speech where he discussed he was presented by the Bush administration a timeline of events that were going to culminate with the taking out of Iran. It started with Iraq, it included Libya, Syria, uh, Afghanistan. I can't remember.
Lebanon.
Lebanon probably in there,
I
and
think they're all part of it.
Iran was the last one. It was the only one we hadn't destabilized, and so here we are. We're rocking the Casbah with Iran. It's pretty amazing too. I mean, we destabilized Iran back in the late 50s. That was our first most successful coup d'état operated by the then infant CIA.
When the CIA was just so young.
They were figuring it out, getting their feet wet, right?
Just a young bunch.
Yeah, man. And so they destabilized Iran for
Crazy.
20 years up until I think there was a moment where then they had the Iranian Revolution, if I'm not mistaken. So Iran's been kind of a weird, funky spot, but no, this isn't the first time around when it comes to destabilization and coup d'etats. And so that's what I imagine this is all about. I do not believe for a second they were anywhere near some sort of nuclear bomb. If they were, they would have already fired that sucker off at this point. That's my belief.
Yeah. No, they weren't. I don't think they were that close.
And they're hell bent on this new world order and the destruction of the world. They want nuclear war. They have their caves ready, right? Mark Zuckerberg, he's got his underground complex prepared in Hawaii.
Right.
So all the elites are ready to rock and roll on this whole World War III nuclear Armageddon.
Only price is you got to be my friend, and then you can join. Still nobody shows up. Still nobody shows up to that bunker.
His Facebook thing still says 0 friends. It's so sad. It's so.
Imagine spending any amount of time in a bunker with him.
No, not even Elon, man. They're all creeps, dude. I wouldn't,
Well, Elon would have the drugs. If you're sharing the drugs, that's a
right.
good time.
But then he would impregnate your wife without a question. I mean, he'd be spreading the seed everywhere. And
I don't even got a wife, so it's okay.
we're living in better times now because now we can go back to being impartial about Elon. We don't have to fake loving Elon all the time, 'cause
Right.
when you really kind of clear the smoke, Elon works for the Department of Defense, and he's flying rocket ships into space. He's doing satellites around the Earth. He's trying to input gizmos into our brains. I mean, when it comes to the New World Order, the 15-minute cities, the World Economic Forum, you will own nothing and be happy. I think Elon might be a key figure in that whole entire scenario.
Yeah, he's really big on the transhumanism.
Yes, which I'm really
Very big on
against
it.
the
Very
transhumanism.
against.
That's right, man.
Very
And the transhumanism, I believe, starts with the mRNA vaccines. You get those suckers pumped through you, the nanobots come together, you turn on the 5G technology, and all of a sudden we're just zombified morons doing whatever they say, right?
Watching TikTok.
Oh, dude, think about, though, the shots. You throw that in with the 5G tech and the propaganda, and what do you get? No King's Day on Saturday, June 14th, right?
Doesn't even make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
So funny.
They have no idea why they're out there, but they're lockstep, dude, because the machine, they were told to, dude. It's got to be the 5G. It has to be. That's my only guess.
It was guiding them.
That's right, dude.
For sure.
So, yeah, what a great weekend. We had the No Kings protest. We got to see a ball game. World War III kicked off, and there was a union of demonic forces.
But also, we got to talk about that ball game, man. They really got to do something about the prices. You got to make it affordable. for a family to go see for the kids to go see the games. Way too many drunk adults at the game. Not
Right.
enough kids,
We were sitting in the bleacher section. It is a very famous area where it's mostly adults, right? But
Mostly
yeah,
adults, yeah.
too expensive. I mean, the tickets themselves were not cheap, and then you get there and you're dishing out $12 a hit for every drink
Oh,
that
it's
you're buying,
brutal. Then a
right?
hot dog's $12, everything's $12. And how about the fucking lady in front of us? I'm so glad you got to witness what it's like in Chicago. Because I know I sound like I exaggerate the liberalism in Chicago.
Yeah, man.
But we were just hitting a vape pen. And I had hit it, and then like 10, 15 minutes go by. And then Emma's like about to hit it, and this lady in front of us turns around and just sees it in her hand and goes, "Yep, I knew I smelled something. If you guys could not," what did she say? Something about how
It was could you
she's like,
not do that here or something?
You're not
Yeah.
supposed to. And she's like, it's her. I swear she like used a different term than like immunocompromised, but it might have been this. Must have been the same shit about like her lungs.
It was
She's
something. Yeah.
ultra sensitive to the weeds. We're outside.
I
We're
know.
fucking outside.
We're in the
lady.
bleachers with the fresh air, the sun is shining, there's breezes coming through. I mean, the pollution itself, it should be more of a issue. You should be more concerned about the
Absolutely.
general pollution in the air and the chemtrails, not the water vapor being emitted from this weed device. So ridiculous. And we brought cartridges that they air a little more on the weedy flavor. They got that kind of
They do
pot
smell like
taste,
weed,
pot
yeah.
smell. Like, it's good weed, man. It's good stuff. It's good
Really
company.
good.
Huge fan of the 710 Labs product. And so, I get it. She definitely smelled it earlier and then was waiting for the next moment, and it hadn't really
Yes.
arrived. And so she just jumped on it when she felt the best opportunity was there for her to
Did you
do
see how
so.
she like stood up and turned around?
Oh,
and,
she
like-
was ready to go after it, man. Yeah,
Like,
dropping fisticuffs right there.
And then her fucking pussy ass husband was sitting there like, yeah, you're not supposed to do that. It's not allowed in the ballpark. Like, all right, dude.
Relax, bro. They needed a catalyst to occur, but it never happened. So they just kind of made one up and started going
Yeah.
after us, basically. Pretty much how the LA riots unfolded last week, which we now have forgotten about.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
I kept thinking about it this week too, especially as we saw the No Kings thing unfolding. And I thought the reason the LA ICE riots didn't resonate with most people is there was no catalyst, really. There was no George Floyd moment. They wanted one, but it
Right.
never happened. You never had a guy kneeling on a Mexican. There was
No, they were this close with the Abrigo. Garcia,
Yes,
whatever the-
absolutely.
This close. You turned out to be a coyote.
I know. And we still brought him back, right? So you had nothing to complain about. But the ICE thing made no sense, and it looked so fake because there wasn't a pinpoint moment everyone could point to and say, that's why everyone's angry. It just
Right.
all of a sudden a bunch of illegal migrants are pissed off because they're not getting their free checks anymore. Okay, go back to your country. Like, I don't
Simple
care.
answer. If you don't like it here,
Right.
Like-
And honestly, if there was a George Floyd moment and the dude was a migrant, a lot of people wouldn't care. They would say, just go back to your country, please.
Yeah,
Please get the
please.
fuck out of here. Yeah, we'll trade him for Rayleigh, or no, who was it? Lincoln Riley, right? That's how that would have worked out.
which one was Lincoln? Right? Oh yeah. The girl that got killed.
She was raped
Yeah.
and murdered by an illegal migrant, and
Yeah,
the
terrible.
legacy media pretends like it never existed, never happened. We're all racist bigots for even suggesting that something
Frank,
wrong.
Immigrants don't commit crimes.
Right.
I've been told this over and over again. They just don't commit crimes ever.
Oh man, well, it was a fun time had by all. And speaking of which, when it comes to time, there is no doubt about it. This is the fastest hour in the universe. I want to thank everyone for hanging out, enjoying the good times, great oldies. We will be back after this short intermission from DJ Rodfather. We barely scratched the surface on the docket and topics for the day.
This is the greatest guitar intro in rock
Yeah.
history.
Is
I
this
heard
Boston?
the song today. I heard it today. Awesome.
I'm ready for it. Hell yeah. We'll be back after this, folks. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what to wear. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I get you back now. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know where I'm going. Yeah. Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I get you back now. Please don't ever let me be. I only wanna be by your side. Please don't ever let me be. I only wanna be by your side. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. Oh yeah, you really got me now. Got me so I guess that night. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Girl, you really got me now. Got me so I guess that night. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know where I'm going. Yeah. Oh yeah, you really got me now. Got me so I guess that night.
Oh yeah. Haha, man.
Oh,
Giving it to us with the Van
great
Halen.
tune. Yeah.
Huge fan of Van Halen. Not the biggest fan of Van Hagar, but I enjoy a little Van Hagar on the side. I'm not gonna
That's
lie.
all right. That's a little all right. That first one though, Eruption, that goes
Yeah,
into
man.
it.
Yeah.
I was just reading the comments, and they were saying that was his warm up.
Wow, dude.
That Eddie was warming up, and like I guess one of the producers heard him warming up, and was like, "What the fuck is that?" Put it on the album.
Wow. Hell yeah.
That's
Ah.
incredible, right?
That's when you had real musicians in a studio making real music with their hands and their mind and, going off of
Yeah.
talent and producing something magical in the moment. And now they bring in Selena Gomez and they're like, here's all the tracks we wrote for you with our team of writers and musicians and
Yeah,
producers, right?
Yeah.
Disney approved all of this, so go on and learn the lyrics for us.
It's terrible. Yeah, they focus more on the dance than anything now.
Oh man, have you seen these new age songs? Any song that comes out now, you can go and look up who is accredited to the song. There is just a paragraph of names. Every single pop song that you've ever heard in the last 20 years.
That's crazy.
Just a team of individuals behind these pop songs, and it's Taylor Swift isn't writing shit. Let me throw it out there.
Nah.
There's no way Beyonce came in one day and her team said, "You're lagging behind Taylor Swift, so we're gonna do a country album now." And
It's gonna be
she's
great. Hear me
yeah.
out. Hear me out.
we're bringing it back for black people, and Beyonce's like, "Okay, whatever makes me money."
No, listen to me.
It really does. I really do think it plays out that way. I don't see these major mainstream musicians being behind too much of the content. Same thing with Green Day. It just doesn't feel like they even have the time or the willpower. That creative juice, it only really lasts in that kind of youthful moment. By the time you're in your 40s and you're living in your penthouse in Malibu with your infinity pool that overlooks the ocean, yeah, how much angst is Billy Joel Armstrong really summoning up to write the new
Dude.
hit song against Trump? You know what I'm saying? It's not a lot
That's
going
when
on.
that's when you come up with Pretty Girls.
Hey
And your
now.
name is fucking Will Smith, dude. What is going on with Will Smith? Did he just come out of the closet? Is that what happened? He literally does a music video, makes a song, and it is your gay friend trying to convince you that he's straight. That is what this is. I'm not even joking.
I have it. You want to watch some of it?
Please. This is incredible. Incredible.
Poor Will. It's just he was so emasculated by his wife to start, and she was cheating on him and then bragging about it on the podcast, and then he slaps Chris Rock, ruins his career, and now after that everybody's talking about how he's gay and everybody knows he's gay, so he decides to come out with an anthem for the summer. This is the hit of this. I have 2 songs on my playlist this year. It's Pretty Girls and Heil Hitler by Kanye West.
I like pretty girls. I love pretty girls.
Gay.
I like pretty girls.
Everything about this is gay.
I love pretty girls.
Even the way he's dressed.
You don't gotta wait in line tonight.
The way he's
Too
dressed, the way
fine
he
for the
dressed
line
the
tonight.
females.
5 plus 5, you a dime tonight. It's a full house.
I
Better
want
play
to
your
prove I'm
cards
not
right.
gay, so get like some dime pieces, and then put as much clothes on them as you possibly. Yeah, baggy overalls and a baggy t-shirt out. That's great. On the blonde, please. Like what?
It's the total opposite of that that movie, or it was the music video with Farrell and Robin Thicke, where they had the topless women.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of I Like Big Butts, and what's that song?
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Sir Mix-a-Lot, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Where he just had like very naked asses.
Right, or we talked about it, Juveniles, back that ass up. It was just hot chicks backing the ass up.
Oh man, this is how gay is this?
Right, I'ma post your pic if you pose. Make one phone call, you in vogue.
He's the most feminine one in the video.
Toes. Hold up, wait, pose. I'm about to do some investing. I'll spend it on you and your bestie. You and your twin on a jet ski. I'll change your life if you let me. Pretty girl.
Wow.
And like when they're finally wearing an outfit that you can see something, they're fucking. There's the camera's so far away.
Oh, this is is this the prettiest girls they could get? I mean, I think they're lovely ladies, but
Out of my league.
I'd say I've seen. I don't know. Maybe they were just short on some models for this shoot. I don't know what's going on.
You know what the problem is? They went with diversity.
I know.
You could just see it in there.
Absolutely,
it's like
dude.
one of everything. But look at that. All right, man. Come on. Put a little something tighter on the Asian chick.
I love pretty girl.
This is the strangest video I've ever seen in my entire life, man.
I want to prove to them that I like pretty girls. So get me like a 50-year-old. Put her in a leather jacket. I like pretty girls. I'm a straight guy who just likes pretty girls.
I think it's the worst song ever written. It might be one of the worst songs ever written.
One of the worst.
It's just like the core. We talked about this a while back, maybe even just privately. We're like, a guy might not be so straight when he like tries to talk too much about like, oh, this chick I was getting with last weekend, and man, did she have nice boobs? You know what I'm saying? I like big boobs, and she had some nice big boobs, and oh man, we were getting after it, man. Yeah, and it's like
like the 40-year-old virgin.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Like you can just tell. And Pretty Girls, it's a very lame title. It's a lame song.
Terrible.
It's a lame attempt to convince the general public that you're not homosexual.
No.
At no point are they like grinding on him. He's not doing anything sexual with them on any.
Yeah.
And Will, feel free to cross a few boundaries with the, touching and the sexuality. Jada won't be upset. She's got her hands filled. She's got plenty to go after
I
on
don't
her
know.
own
No, I think
time.
that's part of the relationship. He's not allowed to touch. She does whatever she wants.
He's a cuck. He's a
Yeah.
cuckold, just like P. Diddy. And apparently Kanye now has admitted he's a cuckold. Why are all these prominent hip hop music industry fellas, black fellas, into the cucking of their wives? Why are they really into seeing other dudes bang their chicks? It's a really strange phenomenon.
That's a weird fetish.
Specifically, it seems like it's affecting the hip hop fellas, right?
Very weird. Baby, you know what gets me off the most? You fucking somebody else. Like that's weird.
I know. I don't understand. There's no stories like this with like Steven Tyler of Aerosmith. All the Steven Tyler stories are like Steven
Yes.
Tyler was banging these chicks and they might have been underage. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that's how it always goes with
If there was a dude, it was dark. It was the 70s.
right. Richard Pryor was there. We were having a great time,
Yeah.
right? You can't stop Marlon Brando when he's going after you. You know, he's gonna have what he wants, you know?
Especially not 70s Brando, you know?
Right. That's right. Dude. No, it's a huge thing. Like Zeppelin. Oh, such a scandalous lifestyle these fellas lived back in the 70s. Just all the sexual exploits, and it got so crazy that it reaches the zenith of a story involving some sort of fish caught off a pier, and this fish entering the sexual scenario and being utilized in some way. For anyone who doesn't know, there's a famous story out there about Zeppelin getting it on with a chick using a fish they had just caught out of a pier. So that's
Wow.
yeah. We don't know if it's true or not, but my point being is at no point in the last 40 years did we hear a story of Jimmy Page loving watching Robert Plant bang his wife. Like that never occurred. That was never a scenario that was unfolding. Nobody was into that. It wasn't a thing for these rockers of the 70s, man. Like all the stories of these guys are orgies and they're just banging too many chicks. There's just too many chicks in their life.
They're doing the banging.
Right. They're not watching the banging.
No.
Maybe they're paying someone to watch. Maybe that got them off. And like, hey, you watch me bang this chick. All right. It's going to really turn me on over here. You know?
Yeah, but they weren't like buying prostitutes to bang their wife. That's
Exactly.
crazy.
Which is exactly what Diddy was doing. And it's crazy they thought they could get Diddy on something for this. Did you see a big controversial moment in the Diddy case? They removed a juror. And
wow.
apparently it was a black juror too, which I think was causing a lot of issues there. But this thing is dragging on. It's becoming less salacious by the day. And it's just kind of showing us that Diddy was a pussy who just liked seeing other dudes bang his chicks. And
Yeah.
he just
Probably gay.
probably gay. I mean, there's the stories of him banging Malil
Meek Mills.
Meek Mills and Justin Bieber have really gone quiet over the last couple months. I'm not hearing
Yeah.
a lot of talk from the Ashton Kutcher camp these days, but they're focusing on the girlfriends, him hiring these monster stud, mandingo fellas to bang his chicks. You know what I'm saying?
Which best job in the world.
Absolutely,
Jesus
yeah,
Christ,
man.
getting
I'm not.
paid.
Yeah,
Just go
for
fucking
sure.
damn.
You can get a little baby oil action, slip and slide. I'm sure
Talk
the
about
drinks
hitting
were
the
good.
jackpot.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
You won the lotto in life.
But it's more just kind of turning into Diddy had kind of like a lame fetish, and it's a lot less of the human trafficking and the world of like sexual exploit. And he had all these videos and photographs of all these people.
Well, did you hear what the conversation I had with mom
No.
when we were at dinner the other day? We were talking about Diddy, and I was saying how I don't think he might not even go to jail for this, and she was like, "What
Right.
do you mean? He was trafficking." And I had to ask
Wow.
her. I had to ask her, like, "What do you think he was doing to get charged with trafficking?" And she's like, "Well, he was selling underage girls." Like, that's not at all what was happening.
Exactly. No, he was hiring of age dudes to bang his
Being
wife.
his wife, they were just coming in from out of state, so they're calling it trafficking.
And that's all they have on him, which makes this whole thing kind of pathetic. And
But the way they spin it in the news, it's not just our mom. It's everybody thinks he was like buying and selling underage girls. The
Right.
Epstein of the rap world. And it wasn't that at all.
Maybe they did this whole thing with Diddy on the offhand chance that Trump did stumble on something and Cash Patel released something. They're like, we'll bury it with the Diddy stuff, and then people forget about Epstein. Diddy case drags on for too long. Somewhere in the middle of summer when nobody's paying attention, we're all gearing up to get drafted for World War III. We won't be thinking about the Diddy case anymore. We won't, it won't be on our mind. It won't be top of mind. Top of mind.
Top of mind.
Top
I
of
don't know.
mind.
I mean, I don't know. Was he buying and selling girls? I don't even know.
There's a lot of
I haven't heard anything about it.
No, I've barely tapped into the underage thing. I think he was just throwing these freak offs, getting people drugged up, and then filming live pornos featuring famous people, which I don't care if Ashton Kutcher or Leo DiCaprio was there. I don't care if Bieber was getting banged by Diddy. Like, I really don't. It's not a huge deal for me. It's a huge deal that we know not one customer of Jeffrey Epstein's. We do not know one person, or Prince Andrew, right? But it's crazy that the one guy that eventually had to come forward and admit that he was, partaking in the Epstein parties and flying Lolita Express, his witness died after being hit by a bus and then committed suicide. And they buried that story, man. Nobody
After
talked about
writing
that.
a note saying she would never kill herself.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. So the Epstein thing, there's so much more there. There's photographs of Bill Gates hanging out there. There's photographs of Bill Clinton flying on Lolita Express. I mean, some of the world's most powerful individuals were hanging out with this guy. And we're told to believe he definitely killed himself when the guards fell asleep and the cameras turned off. He's not alive anymore. And you're also never going to find out about any of the Jane Does, the victims. And then on top of it, we're never going to release any information about the people actually flying out to this island or going to the ranch in New Mexico. You're never going to find out about any of it.
A lot of photos of Trump and Epstein going around. Some don't look too good.
Yeah, well, there's the great quote of Trump talking about how, hey, Jeff, he's a great guy. He likes to throw parties with a lot of pretty young women. Some might say they're a little bit too young, right?
There's also them talking about one of the celebs. I forgot which one. That's like 14.
14-year-old celebrity.
Yeah, like Britney Spears or something when she was like 15, 14.
Damn, dude. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, she's clearly messed up. Something happened to Britney Spears. She had a rough ride there, and now she's doing the weird knives videos where she's juggling knives and
it's weird dance moves. Yeah, it's a little.
Yeah, you would think for Britney Spears she would have some good dance moves kind of in the bank there that she could pull out on a whim, right?
Maybe it's the same dance moves, but looks terrible on a 50-year-old. But back when
Good
she
call.
was 16,
That's right. Yeah, dude.
like, damn.
Yeah, man. That's crazy that she came out. Oh man, we were young fellas, but this is late 90s there when she hit the scene. She was definitely not 18, but that video that Hit Me Baby One More Time,
crazy.
the schoolgirl outfit, I mean, they weren't hiding it in the 90s,
No, come on.
They were out there like, we're exploiting this young underage girl for sexual advantages.
Yeah, because she's only 43. So she's only 3 years older than you.
Wow, man.
Crazy.
Yeah. Holy cow. So yeah, she was
like 15.
Well, you got to think, she did the video when she was like 15, 16, right?
Gotta be.
But there was a lead up to get to that point to be Britney Spears. So there's like 2 or 3 years prior to 15, 16 where she's in the 13, 14 range where she's got the producers and the people behind the scenes kind of taking a look at her, having her do some dances for her. Why don't you come up to my hotel, young Britney, and show us some of those vocal chops you've been debuting out there,
Because that was 98. So she was 16.
Oh, that's gross, dude. So
yeah,
you gotta give at least 2 years of being found and having the meetings, the Weinstein style meetings at the hotel room.
How many Weinsteins?
Yeah. No, Mom, just drop me off at the door. I'll be down when I'm done, Just a quick meeting. Yeah.
Terrible.
The grossest characters in all of this, as per usual, especially like with Bieber, Bieber's parents dropping him off at the front gate at the Diddy house to spend 48 hours with Diddy. Not a good look for a parent. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of
Dude,
gross.
I know.
Same with Britney Spears' parents. What a bunch of
Terrible.
disgusting animals, man, to whore out your young teenage daughter to executives and studio producers and all that stuff, man. Of course she's messed up. Of course Bieber's messed up. Bieber, every other day there's a video of him like darkly saying something really twisted into a microphone and like staring into the phone and getting all pissed off at people. Like, yeah, the guy's fucked up. People have been talking about Diddy raping him for the last 6 months, like that's not a good place to be.
And he's got the vaccine issues.
He's got the vaccine issues, man. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Well,
yeah, that's crazy.
It is crazy. And we're living
Poor
in a
Britney.
topsy-turvy, crazy world. And when I think of Britney, I think of all the Britneys in my life, especially my favorite Britney of all, the Britney that's probably a man, Britney Griner. Are you familiar with Britney Griner? She's a WNBA phenom. Britney Griner was filmed as she was walking back to her seat, fouling out or getting into foul trouble. And she had, this is about a week or two ago, she had fouled Caitlin Clark.
Right, I saw this.
Yeah, man. And she walks back and she mouths what many people have speculated was somewhere along the lines of fucking white girl or, something like that, And so Britney Griner back in action. I think she was injured for a minute. So now she's back. And a reporter kind of caught her during shoot arounds and wanted to kind of pick her brain on what she was going through her mind when she got caught on camera speaking poorly to Caitlin Clark. And I did a bit of a mini deep dive we did together about a week ago on Britney Griner shooting some hoops at a pool in her backyard.
Right.
Top, taking the
this
shirt
is a
off.
dude.
Well, let's see what
dude.
let's see what Britney has to say here.
You said you didn't remember what you said during that viral moment after you fouled out against the Indiana Fever. A lot of people believe what you said was effing white girl or effing white girls. Is it possible that's what you said?
No, would never say that. Like, there's no place for that in our league. Wouldn't say that.
So even though you can't...
Her voice is deeper than his voice.
I
Do you
know.
hear that?
Yeah.
Do you hear the difference?
Dude.
That blonde chick's a dude? Oh, man.
I can't get
Come on, did you hear the drop in tone from
It's
his
so-
voice to her voice?
You could see the Adam's apple moving as this person's talking, dude. It's unbelievable. This is crazy. We got the shirtless Britney Griner shooting ball in the backyard.
Oh, that's a hairline of a dude if I've ever
Oh
seen
my
one.
God.
Come on.
Would never say that. Like, there's no place for that in our league. Wouldn't say that.
So even
I
though
was
you
mad
can't
about
remember,
it.
you know that was not what you
I know
said.
it wasn't that because I wouldn't use that type of language.
Okay.
Dude, you're right. Her voice is deeper than the dude asking
than
the
the dude.
question.
Yeah, no,
Holy
that's
cow,
this is Joanna
man.
Man. Joanna Man right here. Couldn't get into the NBA, playing in the WNBA. Come on. Dude, that is crazy.
That's lower than your voice, bro. It's so
lower than
crazy,
all of
man.
ours. Yeah, that's a big man right there.
Yeah.
Big Mike style man.
That's why I might hold back on my Big Mike comments until I hear the actual natural voice of Big Mike Obama, because I have a feeling maybe Michelle's been disguising that a little
Coached
bit.
up on that. Yeah.
That's right.
I don't know. No, Michelle sounds like a woman. That sounds like a man. That's a straight up man.
It looks like a man. It sounds like a man. We watched a video of this shirtless man shooting hoops around a pool.
I mean, I'd be very hard pressed to find somebody with a deeper voice now that James Earl Jones is dead. Was that his name?
Yeah, you nailed it. And you know what? You just a light bulb moment for me. I see a future career for Britney Griner as the voice of Darth Vader. Right? This could be.
We need a new one. You're already there. Terrible. Yeah. That is a dude.
That is a dude, and it's all in good fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Why are they trying so hard to make us care about women's basketball?
They're really pushing it. I can't figure it out. It doesn't really fly. I've seen some clips of not Britney Griner, Caitlin Clark recently. Pretty cool, baller. She's got some moves. It's entertaining on a level. I could see why she's popular and why they're trying to make her the face of the league. It is insane though that she was injured for a bit of time. It was probably maybe a couple weeks. I can't remember. But this article came out just a few days ago, which I found to be pretty eye-opening when it comes to what we're seeing in the world of the WNBA, which is it's all Caitlin Clark. That's why all these chicks have such a problem. WNBA ratings plummeted over 50% since Caitlin Clark's injury.
Wow,
Yeah.
brutal.
They went from while she was playing, she's on the Indiana Fever, averaging 1.8 million viewers, and with her out, they were getting 847,000. So
Oh,
yeah,
man.
that's a rough scene. I feel bad for the Angel Reeses and the Brittany Grinders out there who are clearly a little perturbed that a white gal has come in and stolen the show. But man, you got to embrace this lady. Otherwise, you guys are just going to ruin your own league for absolutely no reason. It's the only reason people are tuning in, you know?
Goddamn, at 1.8, I just asked, Grok here, average NBA game viewership is around 1.5 million.
Damn. All right.
So, that means she's kinda killing it. The NBA finals, though, were 9 million.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
kinda pretty
Not that
weak, huh?
Basketball's a bad product.
Man,
They have ruined
yeah.
the product without a doubt.
LeBron, terrible.
Terrible, man. He screwed the league. But Caitlin Clark, props to her. There's a video that leaked and made the rounds about a month ago or so, and it's from this legendary scrimmage that occurred where Caitlin Clark and the gals on her college team at that time took on the men's college team at that school. And apparently, in some legendary way, Caitlin Clark scored something like 9 3-point shots and like a shit ton of points within the span of 3 minutes, and they beat the boys in this scrimmage. Yeah,
No,
and they claim
damn.
apparently this video didn't see the light of day for a long time, and then the school somebody found it and they put it out on on the X verse there, and it's an incredible kind of thing to watch. You could tell the boys maybe a little flat-footed, not expecting her to explode the way she did, but she got a couple nice steals, some really great passing, and just dominating with the 3-point shots and winning the game for the ladies. Uh, Pretty cool stuff. I think it just adds more to her, history and her legend and all that jazz. But that's why people are tuning in when she's playing. She's actually kind of good, and she doesn't complain about race or anything like that,
Right,
And there's
yeah.
nothing woke about this gal. She's just going out there and busting
Yeah.
her ass and playing hard and wowing and entertaining the crowd, which is all you're supposed to do. It's entertainment, guys. That's I can't even realistically bet on NBA games. I won a couple of my bets on these last 2 NBA Finals games because I bet on them as if the game is fully rigged.
You have to.
And if you bet that way, you win every time. It's absolutely retarded.
No, they should be trying to find more Caitlin Clarks
Right.
and get
Yeah.
rid of these bitches that are just fighting and jealous.
It's the woke culture, dude. It's ruined everything. It's ruined the way people think.
That
And
one, Angel Reese is the worst. I
she's
know
the
from
absolute
Chicago, but she's
oh,
garbage. Very representative of the population of Chicago.
couldn't agree
Terrible.
more, man. Yeah, she's awful, dude. Just a complainer. And I mean, I haven't been tuning in, unfortunately. Maybe I will at some point in the future, but probably not. I have a hard time making it for football games these days because football is commercials and Taylor Swift in the stands. That's
Oh,
basically
that's
all you're getting
crazy.
nowadays.
Yeah.
But the woke is killing everything, including Marvel, which I found this to be fantastic. There's an Ironheart movie or TV show. I'm not sure what it is. Ironheart is their new black lesbian Iron Man, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I've never heard of this.
It's
What do you
coming out,
No
Ironheart.
way.
And they have a character named Slug, who is a former drag queen. This person's named Shea
Ah.
Coulier. You'll be seeing the diva in some looks. I help a group of urban Robin Hoods to take away from the privileged and help give it back to the community. And so that's what
God,
we have.
why?
Look at this, man. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. And they can't figure out why no one's showing up to the movies anymore, dude.
Is that a real thing, Ironheart?
That's a real thing.
It's a
Ironheart.
female Iron Man?
Yeah, so they started I think Ironheart had a TV
Hmm.
show on Disney Plus, like, a year ago. It was one of the lowest rated, if I'm not mistaken. Very few people, tuned into it. So, Ironheart is a black girl from, I think, the urban hood, like, place. I don't know exactly where Ironheart takes place.
Frank, it's centered around Riri Williams, a young genius inventor who designs a powerful suit similar to Iron Man's. It's crazy.
That's it? Does she live in an urban.
In Chicago.
Oh, alright.
Uh,
Nice.
Dominique Thorne is the name of the actress.
Cool.
This is so stupid, dude.
They had a TV show, it looks like, with the Ironheart.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. All right. All right.
yeah.
Good for you. Good for you, Disney.
Are you excited for this one? I don't know
I
if you're
can't
gonna.
wait. Yeah, probably see it in theaters.
Alright, cool. Yeah, I'm looking up pictures. I don't know who this person is. I don't know when they decided to create this show. But yeah, it's the new Tony Stark. It's a black chick from, the city,
Makes
the south
sense.
side of Chicago, and then, they're introducing this drag queen character who's gonna
Makes
be a
sense.
big deal. Slug is the name. Huge fan. Huge
All
fan.
right. All
So,
right. Hope you
Di
do well, Disney.
Disney has learned no lessons
No lessons, dude.
whatsoever. They're not listening to the people who
Uh,
are done with the woke.
it'll be on the shelf with Snow White.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
Crazy.
man. Pretty crazy stuff. But we're cruising along here. What time? Where are we at here? I got totally distracted by Caitlin Clark. All right, yeah, we're cruising. My God, Mike, we got the docket. We
We
talked
gotta talk. We gotta talk about the Donald Trump's birthday parade.
the big beautiful parade.
Big beautiful parade. Kind of embarrassing, dude. Those soldiers couldn't march. I got to agree with the left on that one.
So I didn't watch it.
Oof, not good.
Is that what
Out,
happened?
little out of step. Some of those guys.
Really?
We got to go back to being able to hit the soldiers during basic training. you know.
Let's see here. I did get a few things on the big beautiful parade. One of the images I saw that really freaked me out, and I felt as if it didn't get enough play. This is a clip from the parade here. Robot dogs, my man.
Oh yeah, they're in there.
They were marching with the robot dogs. Look at how freaky and scary that shit is. Holy cow. Look at these things, man.
And to our enemies, no, there won't be guys standing behind them. Just more dogs.
And
Controlled from Nevada.
and laser beams on top of their heads, I imagine, will be
Oh
the
yeah.
future of it. Yeah, robot dogs, bro. Look how fluid they're marching. I mean, those things they're cruising. That's scary.
Yeah, looking good. Looking good.
So I like how they debuted the drones. That's the future of warfare for anyone who doesn't
100%. Yeah.
know. I don't have any like news from people ragging on the celebration per se.
Oh, they were really ragging on it.
Did you see anything? I had a hard time
Oh,
finding anything about it,
Pod
actually.
Save America had a field day. Really funny because they kind of blew their load too early. They released an episode. It was even called like the 3.5% rule or something like that. And everybody was going on and on about how nobody showed up to the parade and that like if the numbers were looking like they were getting close to 3% of the population were at the No King parade, which apparently they're saying no government has ever remained in power once 3.5% of the population protest or rebel.
I saw that. I don't know. So what do they think, that they now have the momentum or the majority?
Frank, they were almost there. But then it turns out the numbers weren't there. It was way less. They got like less than 2%.
I lied. I do have something on the big beautiful parade. I have the view. Does that suffice for you? Yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That's right, people. We have
Bebop and
your
Rocksteady.
favorite melting marshmallow, Bebop and Rocksteady herself, Whoopi Goldberg, giving us the lowdown. It's a long clip, but we'll play the beginning part. We'll get a little rant from Whoopi, maybe some joy. And this is them giving us a recap of the weekend events, including the big, beautiful parade.
So on Saturday, as the military marched across the nation's capital to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Army, millions of Americans turned out for the No Kings protest across the country. I thought it was quite interesting to see people really coming together and saying, you know what? We're getting a little tired of this. And by the way, we're celebrating our guys because those are our fathers and our mothers and our aunts, and you've taken away some of their names in Arlington, and we don't like that either. But we're not going to interfere.
Right.
I thought it was really interesting. I thought people, I loved seeing what Americans could do.
So one of the things that the No Kings Parade organizers did was not hold a parade, protest in Washington, D.C. in respect for the Army. And I was one of those millions of Americans who went out and protested. Millions. Millones of Americans. And I have to tell you, it was so uplifting because so often we ask each other, but what can we do as one person? And just getting off the couch, getting off Twitter and going and doing something and being in community. Because I think a lot of us have felt fear and loneliness in the last 5 months. And to see this happening all over America, I saw
better. Yeah, bitch, he's only been president for 5 fucking months. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. You're talking about the guy. You're talking about the guy who's president. How much is he really affecting your life? Are you really that scared? You're scared. You're scared and lonely for the last 5 months. Donald Trump got elected. Fucking listen to yourself. Nobody should ever listen to this woman. She's clearly not stable.
No, she's totally insane. And it's women like this who are making it okay for that nut job earlier, crying and screaming into the camera that she's scared for her life, man. That's where she gets this from.
The truth is, this bitch doesn't believe any of this.
No, man.
She went to the parade so she could come on the stupid show and talk about going to the parade. She doesn't fucking care. She didn't feel anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. This is so funny. Like, I knew that they were doing this retarded King's March on the day of the military parade so they could hardy-har about it the next Monday. You know, oh, we had so many more people at our gathering. They had 5 million people, if I'm not mistaken, nationally show up for this whole thing, right?
Allegedly. How'd you even count it?
Allegedly.
You know
well, you can't count half of them. They're illegal migrants, right? They don't even exist in our census. So.
How many could vote?
But they claim 5 million people on a Saturday in June. You only got 5 million people. I mean, how many people voted for Kamala? You know what I'm saying? Like
that's the whole point. 75 million voted for Trump?
Right.
You're off by a factor of. I mean, come on.
I mean, you don't have as much support, I think, as you originally thought. And I don't know. I saw the footage. It didn't seem that impressive to me because all of this is lacking grassroots idealism behind it. This is all manufactured and it's coming from the top to the bottom. So it doesn't feel right. You're watching it unfold and you're like, well, no one person can tell me what they were protesting for.
No, it wasn't like an organic protest. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just you paid people to be there, first of all. Don't say you didn't, because even our parents were like, there was an ad.
Yeah, I know.
Like, yeah, I know.
The number one thing everyone blames for being outraged right now are how tariffs are affecting the country, and the tariffs haven't even gone into effect yet. So if most of these people are out there complaining about the economy, which I think they are, they're pissed off at the Biden administration.
Yeah.
It's retarded. These people have no idea what's going on.
This guy's been in office for 5 months.
5 months, dude.
I saw old people. I saw young people. I saw
You didn't. You only saw old people.
Only saw old people.
There are only boomers at these things.
Blacks and whites and Latinos. I saw so many people that weren't Latinos or immigrants holding up signs for the dignity of the immigrant community. Thank you for your allyship. I saw a ton of American flags. People were singing there was like this.
You notice how she has to mention the tons of American flags? Because the number one complaint they got about the LA ICE riots were no American flags except for the ones being used to set the cars on fire.
Not a good look for your peaceful protests.
The strength of, you know what, America, we are coming out of our shell. We are lifting ourselves up from our knees. We may be afraid, but we're together. We are fearless and we are fierce.
Well, it goes to your point, Whoopi, about are people awake? 5 million people look real awake during during these protests, and I think what was really very, very important is what Anna said. They avoided disrespecting the military. They did not do counter programming or anything like that, but they did speak in unison. And the backlash, I think, to President Trump.
Fuck these people. The military parade was pretty awesome. I liked it.
I thought it was kick-ass, yeah.
They should do it for the Marines' birthday, too, you know?
Trump was interviewed after it. He talked about how it was a beautiful parade and it was lovely and everything went off without a hitch and how it was supposed to rain. They were predicting 100% rain, and it didn't rain a drop during the ceremony. And he goes on to say, these weather guys, they can't predict the weather today or for 100 years from now or 50 years from now, kind of alluding to the bullshit behind climate change. Pretty right on. Huge fan of that.
Pretty spot on.
Yeah, these people are idiots, and they're very excited about what they accomplished here. I personally don't think they accomplished anything. We were downtown. We were in Chicago. We went to the north side to see a Cubs game. We saw 10 people getting on board an L train to go to this protest, and that was it. We heard nothing else about it. If this were some massive protest that was sweeping the nation, we wouldn't have been able to make it to the game.
Right. But to be fair, Chicago, it coincided with Puerto Rican Fest.
Which, again, so we were cruising down. We saw more Puerto Rican
flags
than anything else going on. And I actually think more people attended the Puerto Rican Fest than this retarded No Kings thing.
I believe it. They probably had more fun. Guaranteed they had more fun at Puerto Rican Fest. Dude. Puerto Ricans know how to have a good time.
Absolutely, man. No, they do. They know how to party, and I think I said something about going back to your country when we saw it, and then I was rightly corrected on how Puerto Rico is part of our country, which I always tend to forget about.
Yeah, they got U.S. passports.
It's amazing, man.
Just like Guam and Palau.
They can vote in our elections, but they don't pay taxes.
No,
if
can't
I'm not.
vote in our elections.
Oh, okay, good.
I don't think they can vote.
So migrants have more rights than Puerto Ricans do in America.
Right, yeah.
Wow, man. It's a rough scene, dude.
I don't think they can vote in our elections because they don't have representation in Congress.
Good call, yeah. So no voting in the elections, don't pay the taxes, but they get all the other good stuff that comes with being American?
No, I think it's a very shitty situation.
Okay, good.
You get the passport, and you're technically a citizen.
But you get no perks.
I don't think there's a lot of perks. No. Oh, Donald Trump comes and throws paper towels at you when you had a hurricane.
Right, yes.
Other than that, you're essentially on an island of garbage that's poorly managed, and all the money gets siphoned off to the mainland.
Although, if you do catch yourself hanging out in the mainland in the 50 states here, Tom Homan won't pack you up and send you to El Salvador.
Nowhere to send you. Good call.
That's a perk in my book. Absolutely.
That's a good perk.
Yes.
Yeah, good perk.
Yeah, as a Puerto Rican, you won't be confused for being Alberto Garcia or whatever that guy was. That
you will be, but then we'll check your papers. Everything will check out.
Right.
We're gonna assume you're Mexican.
Exactly. We also will be able to see that you're not trafficking children and human bodies into the United States.
Right.
Yeah, man. They got real quiet on Abrigo. A lot of things got real quiet. My favorite thing is the Elon thing that has disappeared. Man, everybody was... All these people that were at this No Kings protest were so bent out of shape over Elon Musk, and then he just disappeared, man. The guy doesn't even exist.
He was running the country.
But that's my point. You're doing a No Kings protest. Weren't you just claiming he was the non-elected king for like 4 months, and all of a sudden he's gone, and that's it? He's no longer the king?
Because he said he was going to be there for 130 days, and then he left after 130 days. Doesn't sound like a king. I don't know.
I love these modern kings who just walk away from their power. Just, after 3 months, nah. I'm kind of bored being a king. I'm gonna go do this instead.
You know what was better than being a king? Working. I think I'm just gonna go working.
Go clock in every day and work my ass off.
So much better than being a king. Yeah, I do love it. I love how Trump, the alleged fascist king who had an advisor come in for 130 days, Elon Musk, they were the kings and the dictators.
Right.
But the 6 people running the auto pen for Joe
Yes.
Biden, the Politburo, what'd you call it?
The Politburo, man. Yeah,
Politburo,
that's
yeah.
right. It was a literal committee of kings dictating the pathway of America for 4 years, unchecked. Nobody got to question what they were doing. No voting, no
Nobody knew
Congress.
they were doing it.
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew. So funny. Running the
Yeah.
country.
Well, everything with the Democrats, whatever they claim you are, they currently are doing. That's how it works with them. It's funny, the idea too, like Elon, private sector guy. I still don't buy into him being this great dude in long run. I think the transhumanism and what he does with the DOD is highly suspect. But saying he's a king or a dictator on his own right, a CEO dictator, comes in for a few months and then leaves. It's amazing that people don't see the example he's setting, which is when it comes to politics, you should be a private sector person who enters the public sphere for a small amount of time to make things better to the best of your ability, and then you go back into the private sector.
Yeah.
It's literally what they used to do, man. You didn't just this whole thing. Hey, you are so good looking, my man.
Ooh.
Yeah. But to call this guy a dictator, a king, or a Nazi, a fascist, all this other stuff, when in reality he's doing the opposite of Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi.
40 years.
Career
Jesus
politicians
Christ.
refusing to step down even when you have to drag their carcass off the floor like Dianne Feinstein. I mean, these people refusing to relinquish their controls of power. That is more king-like than anything I have ever heard in my entire
That's
life.
crazy.
Yeah,
To be fair, though, they don't have anything else.
Right.
For Elon, it's easy to walk away. He's got other things to do.
He's a man with skills, talent, potential, right? He has ideas. He wants to put those ideas into play, make them work, right?
Like, it's always the guy who's shitty at his job that's afraid to get fired. Like, really hard to get another one. You know what I mean? The guys who are good don't care.
Absolutely, man. And bottom line is, Elon reflects and represents more of America than anybody in the Senate currently, which is he's a man who wants to get back to work.
Yeah.
Start working, doing stuff with his hands and his mind, making things happen, making moves, making decisions, right? Crafting, creating. That's what he needed to get back to. That's where he's at his best. And that's the only way he can control our futures with the transhumanism. But Americans are all about work, or at least we used to be. That has kind of gone to the wayside in the era of remote learning and wokeism and liberalism and the leftism that has taken over. These riots that were taking place in LA and in subsequent other liberal cities were pretty jarring and eye-opening, I think, for the common folk out there. Did you see the clip of Man Bun Guy?
Of course. God.
Man Bun
Jesus
Guy.
Christ. And I was just thinking the other day, you really don't see the man buns anymore.
No.
Then this guy comes out. Jesus Christ.
This guy officially ended the man bun, actually. I think this is the end. It's a little tough.
How old are you, dude?
So this guy, and I thought I saved it too.
He's got to be 32 at least.
He's in his 30s for sure. He was part of the BLM riots in 2020 and
of course.
sued the government for an injury of some sort or a wrongful arrest. Something occurred. He sued. He won $115,000 in his lawsuit.
Up.
I am absolutely serious about that.
Ah, Jesus Christ.
This man won $115,000 from the U.S. government for injuries or something sustained during his protesting during BLM riots. That's the best.
That's why he's here. They make more money. He's hoping they shoot him.
Well, already you know this guy doesn't work because he's there on a Thursday afternoon
I
blocking
know.
traffic with these other imbeciles, including the retired boomer next to him, right? Like I said in the earlier hour, when it comes to these asinine protests, it's millennials and boomers. And I hate to say it for the millennials, but man, we got to get our shit together. Let's get some jobs and
Yeah.
start working and doing stuff. Let's have less time to ride our bike to the retarded protest down the street, blocking traffic, and let's go do stuff,
Oh,
make
good
things.
call.
Come
Yeah,
on, people.
if you're in your 30s and you're looking around on a Thursday and you're surrounded by retired people, you're in the wrong place, my friend.
Yes.
You need to go
Yes.
to work.
You made some poor decisions in your young life, sir.
Yes, go to work. Go get a fucking job, dude. Cut your hair.
This douchebag, he's got the
Come
tall
on.
boy and the koozie. He's got his bike
I
with him.
know.
The
Clearly
man bun.
stoned. Ugh.
I'm surrounded by these assholes here in Colorado.
I
This
know.
guy, this is the Colorado guy out here.
This is the same guy who's like, we need to raise the minimum wage. The system's totally fucking us, man. No, you're fucking yourself by getting high and going to protest on a Thursday.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
That's what's fucking you right now.
This is
You
the
know?
same asshole celebrating them shrinking our roads down to one lane each and giving them the biggest fucking bike lane you've ever seen in your entire life. Man, it's this
know.
guy right here, dude.
I would love to know how many plumbers are at this protest. None.
Seriously,
They're all at
dude.
fucking work. So they can pay for their multiple homes and their investments and their cars. And you know what I mean? Raise their families.
Yes, man. All right. Audio's a little shaky, but I think we can give it a go here. It's definitely just people yelling, so there's not much audio going on. But you have this guy, and he's getting the clear shot there. I just love the shot of this guy, and right there, it's hard to hear, but he says, "Oh no, not work." When this poor black lady is complaining to him that he's blocking the traffic from letting her get to her job. And he literally says, "Oh no, not work, dude."
I know, it's so sad.
A guy who hasn't worked since 2020 because he's been living off of checks from the government and a lawsuit he won from the
And
BLM.
that's what's wrong with America. That guy is in prime working age, and he's wasting it riding his bike around, being the cool guy in his 30s.
Yeah.
Dude, stop being cool 10 years ago, man. You need to grow up, lose the bike, get a driver's license.
But how infuriated must this woman be, this black woman, who's dealing with this asshole who won 6-figure lawsuit from the government for participating in a BLM riot?
Yeah, I wouldn't be offended if you took his money and gave it to her as reparations.
Please do, actually. Yeah. Please take all his
sign off
money.
on that one.
Reparations for this poor lady just trying to get to her job. Absolutely disgusting. But I love Man Bun Guy. I love how this guy,
Piece of crap.
well, he went viral. It was all over. People found out who he was and how he ended up there. But this guy and the piece of shit behind him, this boomer lesbian lady back there,
I don't think she's a boomer. Is she old? I can't tell.
I don't even know if it's a she now that we're like really
Yeah, that
looking
might
at
be
this. And in fact, I think I'm looking at 2 reptilian lady fellas.
Yeah, he looks like the dude from Shrek.
I'm seeing a clear Beavis from Beavis and Butthead with this guy.
Beavis, or even a William Dafoe from Green
Wow.
Goblin.
Hey, don't besmirch Willem Dafoe and his giant dong with this guy's face, man. But yeah,
no,
Man
what was
Bun
that
Guy.
Yeah.
Man Bun Guy, I hope, is the face forever representing this retarded moment in time where everybody's protesting for everything, but not one thing. Nobody's guided. This is the face of your protest right here. Right?
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
the guy is... These protests are supposed to be for migrants, by the way, and he's blocking a black woman from getting to work. Like, there's so many levels. There's so many levels going on with this that are so wrong. How does nobody see that? Unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's all to protest Trump and the federal government in a state that didn't vote for him. Like, that lady voted with you, right?
Yeah.
That lady probably voted for Kamala.
The black lady? Maybe. I don't know, man. I actually don't know. I can't
Yeah,
say that anymore these days.
Statistically, yeah.
I'll give it to you statistically, but I
He
mean,
saw
I'm at
a gain in black men and even still got like 25%.
Wow. Still impressive. Still
It's
impressive.
impressive, but it's not like overwhelming, you know.
Maybe this dingleberry with the man bun will push the rest of the percentages to the other side, right? Because they're
Oh,
now
that
looking at
lady's
this
voting
guy.
Trump third term. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely,
that's
dude. She already
yeah.
cast her ballot, actually, now that I look at it. Man bun dingleberry protesting from illegal migrants blocking black women from getting to their jobs. Can you encapsulate 2025 more than that sentence right there, man? Honestly.
Yeah, that's perfect. What an
Yeah.
asshole.
Yeah, man. My favorite part of
Um,
this past week. Well, Mike, we're at the end here. I think we could squeeze something in if you wanted to.
Gotta talk about the assassin. Crazy. They caught him, huh? The
They
Minnesota guy?
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
Crazy.
see here.
And now
Okay.
everybody, I love how everybody's arguing over whether he was a Trump supporter or is he MAGA? Is he not? It's so stupid.
He worked for Tim Walz. He did.
So MAGA.
He worked for Tim Walz, but he's apparently a MAGA man. But I got a great clip from ABC News where they discuss this shooting and the urgent investigation and the manhunt for him, which they found him today. But the Legacy News is perplexed as to where all this violence is coming from. Like, why are people so violent all of a sudden?
Pierre, one of the big questions now for investigators, was the killer acting alone?
Absolutely. They're breathing a sigh of relief, obviously, that this dangerous situation has now ended. But this investigation is far from over. They are looking to make sure he had no support, that no one knew about this beforehand. And also, they're studying very closely to try to better understand the motivations, including an apparent obsession with abortion. I'm told that they're going to continue to do interviews, exploring his phone, social media, and also computers to make sure that they know everything there is to know about the suspect. And they're also contacting all these different targets from multiple states that the suspect was looking at killing.
You've been covering these Homeland Security issues for more than 2 decades. Have you ever seen a threat environment like this?
I've never seen a situation quite like this. The concentration, George. Just think about this. Just a few weeks ago, we had that lovely couple in Washington, D.C., the Israeli diplomats gunned down outside of a museum. Just right after that, a man was literally trying to burn up Jewish protesters in Boulder. And before that, Governor Shapiro's home firebombed. And then we also had a situation where a fertility clinic in California bombed, amphibomb bombed, like in Oklahoma City. So
he literally just listed 4 events, all liberals attacking liberals. That's mind blowing.
Dude, did you? I didn't think you would play this clip. I thought you were gonna play a clip of the neighbor friend.
No,
I interview.
I did, yeah.
Where the guy was like, he doesn't believe this. He's like, I don't believe he did it. He didn't even talk. He didn't even care about politics or any of that.
Oh, I didn't see that part about it. I just saw that the dude's been interviewed now 3 times, and he's changed his story every time. And now all of a sudden he's out there claiming like, oh, he voted for Trump. He's a big time MAGA guy.
Yeah, but the first interview, he's like, no, he didn't give a fuck about any of these politics.
I know.
He's like, it wasn't him. I don't even think he would have done it. I really can't. And then somebody must have convinced him.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of weird shit going on with this story. The fact that the dude worked with Tim Walz, I mean, right there should eliminate any idea that he was a MAGA anything on any level. But the reason I chose this clip is because Pierre Thomas, my favorite mustachioed man on NBC or ABC News, he goes through this laundry list of violence that has occurred, and he towards the end there, he actually caps it off with the 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump. But they can't figure out where all this violence is coming from. They literally stoked violence with the liberals for the last 5 years. I mean, it's just been endless violence, and how we have to. Where's the clip of Maxine Waters? Like, we got to get out there and bring it to the streets and take it to them at the restaurants. I mean, it's been nonstop violent
not only
rhetoric.
that, you called the guy Hitler, and then he got elected in.
Right.
So you have to kill Hitler.
Yes.
Right.
And Alex Jones has been talking about this for a while, how they're guaranteeing some sort of false flag event where a MAGA extremist right-wing nut job is going to do something to a bunch of liberals or migrants, and that's how they're going to try and paint MAGA supporters as, right-wing extremists. And so it seems like they keep failing, and or people on the right just aren't really pissed off to the point where they're going to start murdering people. But the one side that is pissed off to the point of murdering people seems to be the left, because they're actually going out there and they're murdering people. Guy in Boulder set Jews on fire. That's how much he was pissed off by the news. I mean, does it get more insane than that? Literally throwing Molotov cocktails at people.
Plus, they're trying to get MAGA labeled terrorists because Trump labeled Tren de la Agua terrorists.
Right.
Like this Central American gang that invaded the U.S. I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Whose side are you on?
Definitely not America. These people do not support Americans. They were handing out American flags last week in LA so the migrants could set them on fire and light cars on fire. So, Democrats hate America. There's no doubt about it. And I just love how they stoked violence and hatred for Trump and MAGA supporters. They were literally saying Trump is Hitler and anyone who supports Hitler is a Nazi. Therefore, MAGA supporters are Nazis. That was the message, dude. It was very clear. It was a very clear signal to everybody. In the meantime, pay no attention to the Molotov cocktail guy or the dude who shot the 2 Jews in the middle of the street for no reason. Or, don't worry about the leftist nut job who set Ben Shapiro's house on fire, or Governor Shapiro, whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
every victim you just said was a Jew. There's only one side hating the Jews.
Exactly. Yes. It's liberals and Ian Carroll. They all hate the Jews. It's unbelievable.
It's your socialists.
Yes, dude.
I hate to tell you this. I don't know if you guys are getting this here.
It's funny. Pierre, I'm noticing a trend with the victims here. I don't know if you guys seeing any of this on your side. Maybe do some investigative journalism. Figure out there's some sort of pattern going on.
It's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, man. Your whole side is dedicating to hating Jews and then calling the other guy a Nazi, and now you have no idea why violence is erupting everywhere and everybody's attacking Jews. Crazy.
And I like how these people that the 2 state representatives that got shot, they had just voted against giving migrants money.
Exactly.
Or healthcare.
Yes, healthcare to immigrants or migrants. And so people...
A lot of Trump supporters angry at them.
I know. Conspiracy-wise, claims by the 2 cops at the scene of one of the shootings, I think, where the couple was murdered. Allegedly, it's being told that the cops encountered the shooter prior to him entering the residence because they were doing a spot check on something. And the cops intercepted the guy. He still somehow evaded them, got into the house, committed the murders, and then snuck out the back of the house.
Yeah, bullshit.
That's right, man.
Come on.
And yeah, these people voted against, taxpayer gifts to migrants who are here illegally. So it's always one-sided. The nut jobs with the manifestos are always on the left. And this goes all the way back to the school shootings we've been seeing over the last 3 years. They don't want to talk about any of the recent shootings that we've seen because it's all leftist nut jobs with blue hair with the they, them pronouns. And they're
Trannies.
just, man, these people are nuts, dude. They've completely lost their minds. Trump derangement syndrome has hit its maximum capacity in my book.
This is another guy with a manifesto. It never turns out good when you have a manifesto.
Right.
Stop right there. You see manifesto at the top of the page. Stop. You've gone too far. Go talk to somebody. It never works out good for the guy with the manifesto.
I could see casually you end up getting that route. You're putting together your grocery list, and all of a sudden, without thinking of it, you just wrote manifesto at the top. Like, oh, where am I heading with this one? And then right after carrots and celery, you write "kill the Jews." And it just kind of keeps. And then you're like, oh, maybe I'll go to Mar-a-Lago and see where Trump is at. Like that. I think that's how manifestos play out.
Manifesto. You slowly get to the point where you're writing the manifesto. It starts with writing in the diary.
Right. Yes.
Just say, stop at manifesto. And with AI now, just whatever you're writing, put it into Grok. Ask Grok if it's a manifesto.
Yes, good call.
Because maybe you don't know it is, while you're writing it.
Until it's too late. And then all of a sudden you're strapping ammo on your body and you're putting together your bombs and you're getting in your car with your 10-foot ladder and you're walking up on a rooftop and
Manifesto never works out good. Not a good sign.
Steer clear of the manifesto, folks. That's our
Yeah.
PSA for the day. Can't believe I'm saying it, Mike. There's no doubt about it. This is the fastest hour in the universe. I want to thank everybody for hanging out, enjoying the good times, great oldies on this late edition of the Sunday show. We were in Chicago having a wild and wacky time out there, but we're back at it. Are we going to do it on Wednesday? Are you feeling a Wednesday get down?
Yeah, I think we could do Wednesday. I might be working late though. I don't know.
We'll see
maybe
how
Thursday.
it tracks. All right, maybe Thursday.
I can't do Thursday. Probably Wednesday.
We'll see. If World War III kicks off, maybe we'll do an episode before it's too late, right?
Yeah, right.
Right before nuclear Armageddon.
Final farewell.
Yeah, that's right. All right. I want to thank everyone once again. Enjoy the rest of your week. We may see you in a day or two. Hopefully we do. Avoid those nuke bombs, folks, and watch the skies. They are spraying us like bugs. That's right. I snuck it in there. Chemtrails, people. They're real. Yeah.
Little 38
All
special.
right. Hell yeah, man.
You see it all around you. Good love and gone bad. And usually it's too late when you realize what you had. And my mind goes back to a girl I met long years ago. Told me, just hold on loosely, but don't let go. If you cling too tightly, you're gonna lose control. Baby, there's someone to believe in, and a whole lot of space to breathe in. It's so damn easy when your feelings are such to overprotect her, to love her too much. And my mind goes back to a girl I met long years ago. Told me, just hold on loosely, but don't let it go. If you cling too tightly, you're gonna lose control. Baby, there's someone to believe in, and a whole lot of